Before you turn 30, pause for a moment, because one day you'll blink and you'll be 90. And the things you're stressing about today, they won't matter. The late nights, the comparisons, the race to make it, what will matter are the calls you didn't make, the health you ignored, the love you postponed. People who lived 100 years say the same thing. We thought we had more time. You still have it, but not forever. Watch this now, or learn these lessons the hard way. At 94 years old, a man was asked if you could speak to your 25-year-old self, what would you say? He didn't answer immediately. He smiled gently. Then he said, I would tell him to calm down. You're not late. In your 20s, everything feels urgent. You feel like time is running out. By 25, you think you should have direction. By 28, you think you should have success. By 30, you think you should have everything figured out. Career stable, savings built, marriage sorted, life clear. And if you don't, you feel behind. But here's something almost every person who lived past 90 says: no one has it figured out at 30. The pressure you feel is not reality. It's comparison. When you're young, you measure your life against others. Your friend bought a house. Someone else launched a business. Another person got married. Someone is traveling the world. And quietly you panic. You ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? But at 95 years old, none of those comparisons matter. An elderly woman once said, the years I spent worrying about being behind were the years I could have enjoyed being alive. Life is not a checklist. It's a journey of seasons. At 22, confusion is normal. At 27, change is normal. At 30, uncertainty is still normal. But social media has made uncertainty feel like failure, and that is dangerous, because when you rush your life, you stop living it. You don't enjoy your current stage because you're obsessed with the next one. You don't celebrate small progress because you're chasing big milestones. You don't rest because you feel guilty for not achieving enough. A 101-year-old man once said, I changed careers 3 times before I was 40. At 30, I thought I had ruined my future. At 60, I realized I was just exploring. Exploring. That's what your 20s are. Exploration. Mistakes are not disasters. They are data. Failed relationships are not proof of inadequacy. They are lessons in compatibility. Career changes are not signs of instability. They are signs of growth. But when you rush, you interpret every detour as defeat. You treat life like a race. But race toward what? At 98 years old, a woman was asked what age felt the most confusing. She said without hesitation, 30. Why? Because you think you're supposed to be an adult with all the answers, but you're still learning who you are. That's the truth no one tells you. At 30, you're still becoming. Your personality is evolving. Your priorities are shifting. Your values are solidifying. And yet you expect yourself to have permanent decisions already made. You think, if I choose wrong now, I'll regret it forever. But elderly wisdom says something powerful. Very few decisions are permanent. You can restart at 35. You can rebuild at 40. You can reinvent at 50. Life is longer than you think, but you'd feel short because you're afraid. Afraid of missing out. Afraid of falling behind. Afraid of wasting time. Ironically, that fear is what wastes your time, because instead of living your 20s with curiosity, you live them with anxiety. Instead of appreciating freedom, you feel pressure. Instead of being grateful for health and energy, you stress about comparison. A 92-year-old grandfather once told his grandson, "At 25, I thought I was running out of time. At 90, I laugh at that thought. Life was just beginning." Think about that. At 25, you are at the beginning, not the middle, not the end, the beginning. You are allowed to experiment, allowed to change your mind, allowed to change your mind. And early success is rare and often temporary. What truly matters is long-term peace, and peace does not come from rushing. It comes from alignment, doing things that feel meaningful, building slowly, growing patiently. When elderly people reflect on their youth, they rarely say, "I wish I worked faster." They say, "I wish I enjoyed more. I wish I worried less. I wish I trusted that things would unfold." There's a calmness that comes with age, a realization that life has rhythm. Some years are for learning, some years are for building, some years are for healing, some years are for waiting, and waiting is not failure. Waiting is preparation. If you are under 30 and feel lost, hear this clearly. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. Your timeline is unique. Your pace is personal. And rushing will not make your life more meaningful. It will only make it more stressful. Build discipline. Yes. Work hard. Yes. Have ambition. Yes. But remove panic, because panic leads to desperate decisions, and desperate decisions lead to regret. Calm effort builds sustainable success. At 100 years old, people don't measure their life in deadlines. They measure it in memories, in relationships, in moments of courage, in times they trusted themselves. So before you turn 30, understand this wisdom from those who lived a century. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep moving forward with patience. Life is not a race to finish first. It's a journey to live fully, and the ones who rushed the least often enjoyed the most. At 103 years old, a woman was asked, "What do you miss the most?" She didn't say money. She didn't say success. She didn't say youth. She said voices. My mother calling my name. My husband laughing from the other room. My children running through the house. Voices. When you're young, people feel permanent. Your parents feel strong. Your friends feel available. Your partner feels guaranteed. You assume they will always be there. So you delay. You postpone visits. You say, "I'll call later." You skip dinners because you're busy. You silence notifications from family, but respond instantly to work emails. And it feels normal. It feels productive. But at 95, productivity is not what fills your heart. Presence is. An elderly man once said, "I thought I was building a future for my family. I didn't realize I was missing their present." That sentence carries weight because love is experienced in small, ordinary moments. A random phone call, a shared meal, a long, unimportant conversation, sitting together doing nothing. In your 20s, you prioritize progress, career goals, personal growth, financial stability, all important. But here's the quiet truth. Elderly people repeat again and again. No achievement replaces shared memories. At 30, you think, "I'll spend more time with them once I'm stable." At 40, you think, "I'll slow down once things settle." At 50, you think, "I wish I had slowed down earlier." And by 90, you realize there was never a perfect time. There was only now. A 97-year-old grandfather once told his grandson, "You don't remember the days you worked late. You remember the days you laughed together." Think about your childhood. You don't remember how much money your parents made. You remember how they made you feel. The same will be true for the people around you. They won't remember your overtime hours. They'll remember whether you were present. A 100-year-old woman once shared, "I wish I had hugged longer." That's such a simple sentence, but it holds a lifetime of regret. When you're young, hugs feel casual, replaceable. You assume there will always be another one. But time has a quiet way of removing opportunities without warning. One day, the house you grew up in will be silent. One day, the chair your father sits in will be empty. One day, your mother's voice will exist only in memory, and no amount of success can bring that back. This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you gently. Life moves forward whether you pay attention or not. People age whether you notice or not. Opportunities to connect disappear quietly. The elderly often say something powerful. We regret the conversations we rushed, not the business deals, not the investments. The conversations, the times they were physically there but mentally distracted, the times they said not now, the times they chose urgency over intimacy. A 92-year-old man once said, "The biggest surprise of my life was how fast it went." When you're 25, a year feels long. When you're 90, a decade feels short. And the faces that once filled your world begin to fade one by one. Friends pass away, parents leave, partners grow fragile, and suddenly you realize how precious ordinary days were. Not birthdays, not holidays, just ordinary Tuesdays. Dinner at the table, tea in the evening, simple laughter. Those were the treasures. If you are under 30, understand something deeply. You are in the phase of life where relationships are still alive and accessible. Your parents can still answer your call. Your friends are still one message away. Your partner still waits for your attention. Don't normalize emotional absence. Don't get so busy building your future that you forget to experience your present. Call your parents without needing a reason. Visit your grandparents while they can still speak clearly. Sit with your partner without your phone in your hand. Make eye contact. Listen fully, because one day you will crave 5 more minutes with someone who is no longer here, and 5 minutes will be impossible. The elderly don't regret loving too much. They regret assuming there would always be more time to love. Time is generous when you're young. It feels endless, but it is not endless. It is limited, and that limitation is what makes relationships sacred. If you want a meaningful life at 90, build meaningful connections at 30. Success without shared memories feels empty. Money without loved ones feels hollow. Achievement without connection feels cold. At the end of life, what brings peace is not what you earned. It's who you loved and how deeply you were present. Before you turn 30, understand this quiet wisdom. The people you ignore today will be the ones you miss tomorrow. Don't wait for absence to teach you appreciation. Choose presence now, because the most painful regret in old age is not failure. It's realizing you were too busy to fully love the people who mattered most. At 100 years old, a man was asked what matters most in life. He didn't mention wealth. He didn't mention status. He said quietly, health and a clean heart. When you're young, your body feels permanent. You sleep late. You eat carelessly. You ignore stress. You say, I'll take care of myself later, because later feels guaranteed. Energy feels unlimited. Recovery feels instant. But at 95, your body tells a different story. An elderly woman once said, when I was 25, I sacrificed sleep for ambition. At 85, I would sacrifice ambition for one good night's sleep. That sentence carries deep truth. In your 20s, you trade health for hustle. You normalize exhaustion. You glorify burnout. You wear stress like a badge of honor. But stress leaves fingerprints on your heart, on your mind, on your body. The elderly often repeat something simple. Your body remembers everything. The skipped meals, the constant anxiety, the sleepless nights, the anger you never processed, the tension you carried silently. At 30, you don't feel the damage clearly. At 60, it begins to whisper. At 80, it speaks loudly. Money can be rebuilt. Careers can restart. Even lost opportunities can return in different forms. But damaged health is harder to recover. A 97-year-old grandfather once told his grandson, I spent my youth chasing success. I spent my old age chasing doctors. He wasn't bitter. He was reflective. He understood something most young people ignore. Health is quiet wealth. You don't appreciate it until it's unstable. Think about it. When you wake up without pain, you don't celebrate. When your heart beats steadily, you don't notice. When your mind is calm, you take it for granted. But ask someone in their 90s what they value most. They will say, peace in the body, peace in the mind. Health is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, spiritual. Carrying resentment damages you. Constant comparison drains you. Unresolved anger ages you. Elderly wisdom often sounds gentle but powerful. Let go earlier. At 92, a woman said, I held grudges for years. Now I realize I was only poisoning myself. Protecting your character is as important as protecting your body, because reputation lasts longer than income. At 30, people ask, what do you do? At 90, people ask, who were you? Were you kind? Were you honest? Were you trustworthy? Did people feel safe around you? In youth, ambition feels urgent. You want to rise, to prove yourself, to achieve more. But sometimes in that climb, character gets compromised. Small lies, broken promises, harsh words spoken in anger. You think they are minor, temporary, but character is built in small decisions, daily ones. A 101-year-old man once said, at the end of life, your name is your true asset, not your bank account, not your job title, your name, what people feel when they hear it, respect or distrust, warmth or caution. When elderly people reflect, they rarely say, I wish I had earned more. They say, I wish I had taken better care of myself. I wish I had been gentler. I wish I had lived lighter. Living lighter means not carrying unnecessary stress, not sacrificing your body for temporary recognition, not trading integrity for quick success. If you lose money at 35, you can rebuild it. If you lose a job, you can find another. If a plan fails, you can redesign it. But if you lose your health completely, or your integrity completely, rebuilding is far harder. There's another quiet truth the elderly share. Your future self is watching you. The habits you build at 25 become your condition at 65. The discipline you practice at 30 becomes your strength at 80. The kindness you show at 20 becomes the support you receive at 90. Life compounds, just like money. Small healthy habits multiply. Small unhealthy habits multiply. Small acts of integrity multiply. Small acts of dishonesty multiply. Before you turn 30, understand this deeply. You are building the body you will live in for the next 60 years. You are building the reputation you will carry for a lifetime. Choose sleep over ego sometimes. Choose calm over chaos. Choose honesty over shortcuts. Choose peace over constant pressure. Success without health feels heavy. Wealth without character feels empty. But a calm mind and a respected name, that brings quiet dignity in old age. At 100 years old, what matters most is simple: breathing without struggle, sleeping without guilt, looking back without shame. And that is built now, not later. Protect your health. Protect your character. Everything else can be rebuilt, but those two are the foundation of a peaceful life.